Hey everyone, this is Aaron with Turtle Heart Tarot.
Hi, this is Brenda Ridgway.
And we're here for Mystical Mondays. So we're getting used to our stuff. This is our first time. This is, we're going to work our kinks out. We're here to talk about mediumship and tarot. Brenda will be talking about mediumship, and I'll be talking about tarot. So we wanted to do something to where we could discuss about the topics that we work on in a more personal way. I know for me with tarot, it's more about, trying to help the new tarot readers achieve where they want to go and everything. And then for Brenda?
For me, we felt that we wanted to do this was really to educate people on our profession, especially with mediumship, and the tarot as well, because there's a lot of ethics around our work, so that's why we decided that we would come up with this, and where we can get feedback and your questions from yourself as well, so.
Hi, Brian. Look at he's putting little hearts on there. Brian's in here with us.
Hi, Brian.
So we're trying to go for 20 minutes, but if we only do a certain amount, that's okay. This is going to be a process, and we're constantly growing with this. So I think we're going to jump right into the questions. Or no, let's talk about ourselves. Let's start with you.
Well, I'm a psychic medium. I started on my path about 20 years ago, and have been working full-time as a medium, I'd say the last 10 years, and it started with actually meditation, but we can kind of talk about that because I feel that's what people will want to know, how we got started and and that kind of thing. Would you?
Yeah.
And I've always been fascinated with this. Have you?
Yes.
I mean, when I was a kid, oh my God, I just love psychics. Never went to a counselor, went to a psychic.
Yes,
see what the heck was going on. So I feel that's really cool. Yeah.
And then for me, I've been doing tarot for the last 20 years. I started out when I was 18, and actually 13. Yeah, 18 is when I got my first tarot deck, and 13 is when I started my journey as far as the spiritual path. I am an eclectic witch. I started doing mediumship in 2012, and so I met Brenda here in Reno. That's where we're located, in Sparks, Reno, and we started learning from her, and we wanted to talk about this stuff more with other people and get ourselves out there. And so we decided to do this because we get so many questions about stuff. I think we get so many questions like, I'm barely beginning, I'm barely doing this. And so we want to address those things so that you can always return to this and get your answers from it.
So we've got Richie Matthews.
Hey, Richie.
NFL is rigged. I kind of maybe agree with that after yesterday, Richie. I'm a real soccer fan. Football, we call it in our country. So, but I did want the Saints to win. Oh well, what can you do? Yeah. Okay.
So we'll go ahead and start out with our questions. So, do you want to go first, or would you like me to go first?
You can go first.
Okay. So you want to ask me?
Yeah. So we have a few questions that we're going to ask each other, and where it might clear up for some people, what all this work is about. So, and the first one, because I'm not, it's funny, I'm a psychic medium, but where tarot is concerned, I don't do tarot, so I am actually a newbie with tarot too, So can anyone learn tarot?
Anybody can learn tarot. I feel anybody can pick up a deck. I feel anybody can read the book. I feel that as you go along your journey, you have to decide on where you want to go with tarot, because you can just be a sometimes reader or you can be a full-on reader. And that's where you have to decide your path, but anybody can learn it.
So when you say you can be a full-time reader, or is that working at it professionally then?
Yes.
Full-time?
Yes.
Okay. Do you have to be psychic to use your tarot?
When I teach tarot and I advise students on what's going on, I usually tell them you're going to be on either end of the spectrum. So when I see tarot, a tarot reader and a psychic, it's two sides of the spectrum. Oh, see, the camera's backwards. So it's like this. So tarot would be on one side and psychic would be on the other. And as a tarot reader, you kind of want to be in the middle. So I call it integrative tarot, because you're taking the psychic side and the tarot side of what you've learned and blending it all together. So when you're doing readings, you kind of want to be in that middle. You're pulling from the psychic and you're pulling from the tarot, from what you're learning. Because tarot cards have their own meanings. You could give a reading without pulling from psychic altogether. Or you could have tarot cards as a tool and pull from your psychic and use them as jumping points.
Okay, so I've had quite a lot of tarot readings over the years as well. But some of them I feel, I walk away and think, that was a load of rubbish, you know? So for me, I really feel the psychic ability or the intuition has to work with that. Would you not say that?
Yes, you are using your psychic and intuition.
You know, to be a good tarot reader.
Yes.
Like I have a friend and she's an excellent tarot reader. I'm from Ireland, by the way, if you're wondering where the accent is coming from.
Accent?
Yeah, what accent? And she's excellent. But she actually doesn't need the tarot. But for her, she's very tactile. So she likes to work with the tarot.
Yes.
You know, and people know tarot more than I feel people with the mediumship side of me is like, wow, you know, but with tarot, everybody knows tarot and likes tarot, you know, so you could do a reading without your cards.
You could, yes.
Yeah.
Yes, you could do a reading without your cards. Tarot is like a relationship. They're like friends. So when you get your deck, you're building that relationship, just like the spirit world. You're building that relationship with them. And so eventually you'll learn the cards and what they mean in your own way, and you'll come up with your own keywords for them. So when you're not turned on, like let's say you're having a bad day and your psychic abilities are just not coming in fully, the tarot would be able to give you that additional information because you know the meaning of the cards. If you're
like a jump start.
Yes. If you're purely intuitive or psychic and you're using the tarot cards as a jumping point, you're heavily relying on your psychic abilities.
Right.
So the cards you could use oracle cards, you could use psi cards, you can use a playing deck, and they're not going to mean anything in particular, but they're going to be jumping points for your psychic ability.
Right.
So if a queen showed up, you would think woman, your psychic ability would come in, and then you would get that information. Oh, this is your mom, or oh, this is your sister.
Right.
Or this is a lover coming in.
So you are actually tuned in to the spirit world.
Yes, you are.
That's what you're saying. Yeah, I used to have a mentor, and she would read ordinary cards, deck of cards, you know. So I don't know how she learned them, but anyway, that's what she used to do as well. How many cards are in a tarot deck?
There's 78 cards in a standard tarot deck. There's the minor arcana and the major arcana.
What is the difference with them?
The major arcana are more, I consider them the lessons, and the minor arcana are the details. So the major arcana would state the major things that are happening in your life, and the minor arcana is telling us why it's happening, what could happen. It's the everyday things that take place within our life. Whereas the major arcana would be our life lessons and what's going on, what we're dealing with, what our real issues are.
Right. I know a lot of people have tarot and they don't use them for readings, but they use them for themselves. I know a lot just pick out tarot card, you know. Now, for me, I've never learnt tarot, so to pick out a card would like be, wow, what's that all about? So I can learn how to do this. Is that what you're saying?
You can, yes. You would be, if you're more psychic and if that's what you pull from, the tarot would just be a tool. So you would use the pictures as the jumping point for your readings.
Okay. So how long does it take to learn tarot, to be able to read tarot?
It depends on where you want to go with it. If you're always wanting to carry around that book with you, the little white book that comes with the tarot deck, if you're truly into it, it could take you, I would say, a good month or two to learn the cards.
Oh, wow. That's soon? I thought it would take
to understand the readings, but you have to come up with keywords, you have to come up with other things, but to read them, you could do it in a day by psychically doing it.
Wow.
Yeah. That's what most people try to do, is they do their classes in that way to where you can learn it in the weekend.
So would you advise to go and learn tarot without just buying a deck and doing it willy-nilly as such? Find a good teacher.
I would say that it's what your journey is. So if you desire a teacher, the teacher will come to you. If reading is your first way of understanding something and then find a teacher, then that's where you would want to go, is book-wise, buying your own deck, learning your own way, because there's a lot of books out there that will teach you their methods, and you have to find the one that really melts with you.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Do you want to go to mediumship now?
Yeah, we could go.
Let's go to mediumship.
We're going to mediumship, guys. Hiya, Brittany.
Hey, Brittany.
Hello.
That's my friend let's see if she says anything.
And Richard's still sad. He's got his sad faces up. I know.
So, with mediumship, what's the difference between being a medium and a psychic?
So the difference between the psychic and the mediumship is that psychic is just reading what's going on around the person, like yourself.
Mm-hmm.
You know, past, present, future. Everyday life, you know, about career, jobs, whatever. That all comes under the psychic. The mediumship is actually connecting to loved ones in the spirit world. Family, friends, or you could be a messenger, as we say, for somebody else. And people say, like, are you talking to the dead? Well, I suppose we are, really. We're talking to the dead, you know. And the other thing with the mediumship is that it's proven life after death, that we're not just a physical body, that we are a spiritual body, you know, and that's the job of the medium. And it's connecting the two worlds together, yes. You know. We bring up our vibration, they lower it. The one thing with the mediumship is we do not bring in guides or angels. I'm not saying they're not there, but we cannot prove them. So if I was bringing in someone, say like your granddad, I would have to prove that it's him, you know.
What about the people that do bring in guides and angels and things like that? Are they having to brand themselves as, would they be a psychic, would they be a medium?
No.
If they only, like if they do angels and guides more?
No.
Should they brand themselves differently then? Should they label themselves not as a medium, but more as a psychic angel, reader, psychic,
yeah.
past, whatever?
Yeah. I mean, a lot of people do angel readings and all of that, but that's not mediumship. That's working on a psychic level, you know. And I'm not saying there's anything wrong with that, but on mediumship, you cannot prove that. You know, it's the idea of spiritualism goes back to 1848 with the Fox sisters, you know, and spiritualism is very big back home where we come from, or where I come from, you know, so you have to prove that that's your grandfather, your mother, your dad. So with angels and guides, I cannot prove that.
Yeah.
You know?
I know that a lot of people look for that. A lot of people look for the angels and guides. They're more apt to want to hear that than their past, than the dead. I think they're more.
Yeah, but I'm talking as a person that is actually like me.
Yeah.
I'm a psychic medium. So if somebody is coming to me, they're not going to hear an angel or a guide from me, because that's not my job.
Yeah.
My job is to prove life after death.
Yes.
You know, that we go on, you know, to that lovely spirit world, and that we can connect with loved ones that are still living here.
Yeah.
So angels or guides wouldn't come under that at all, you know.
And so if you're a medium, do you see dead people all the time?
No. No. Okay. With the medium, we have what we call clairvoyance, which is to see. So, but the strongest, 90% of mediums work on clairsentience. We feel them. So once we feel that lovely spirit come in, whether it be your dad, mom, they impress our minds, and that's what they're doing. So it's subjective, objective. But I don't actually see them like I'm seeing you sitting next to me. I think I'd die if that happened at the moment.
If they were sitting here,
You're like, oh, okay, I'm gone. Yeah, so it's more to do with what we call clairsentience. It's to feel that lovely spirit around us. And once we feel that lovely spirit, then and that's what we call mental mediumship. This is mental mediumship, because there's different aspects of mediumship. There's physical mediumship, which they move things around.
Yes,
you know,
like the trumpet, the trumpet.
Yeah. They can play with the television. They can. That's what we call a physical mediumship. But if you're coming to me for a reading, I work mental mediumship.
Yes.
And it's my job to prove to you. Now, there's a difference between mediumship and psychic. Because the psychic level, I'm just reading what's going on around. So I work between the two levels. Okay. And the one thing is, you can just be a psychic without being a medium. Yes. But you have to be the psychic to be the medium.
Yes. Yes.
If that makes sense to everybody out there.
Let's see. And then, can anybody be a psychic medium? Well,
I feel that we're all... We just didn't come in with 5 senses. We came in with our 6th sense, you know, to that higher spirit of ourselves. So I feel, yes. People say, oh, you have a gift. I don't look on it as a gift. I look on, this is how I came into this earth, and everybody did. But I chose to develop it.
Yes.
That's the thing. And you can develop this. So I say yes to that. I know some people say no, but some psychic mediums are stronger than the others. But you can definitely develop your intuition, which everybody has. You know, that gut feeling that we get, you know, and then you think, oh, flip, I shouldn't have done that. And that's, we're going against our intuition. So you can definitely develop your intuition, and then it could go further, you know. So I know a lot of people are skeptical, thinking, oh, no, you can't. But yes, you can.
Yes.
You know, I definitely feel you can. I'm no different from anybody else, and you're not. And we're no different from the top guys that are out there, John Edwards and all of that. You know, we just keep developing.
Yes. Always constantly developing.
Always. They say you're only as good as your last reading.
Let's see here. Let's look at the time. I do want to ask this question, but what does the term sitting mean, and why do we have to do it?
Okay, so sitting. How I started on my journey was a girl that, I'm a barber by trade, so I had a barber shop. And she worked for me, and she wanted to go to meditation, and I didn't want to go. Oh, I'm not going to that stuff. But I did. And funny enough, she left and I stayed. But the thing with that was, once you quiet your mind, then I started connecting to my higher self and maybe the spirit world. So the sitting is being quiet and allowing the mind to go quiet and allowing spirit world to come in and work. They are our teachers. So they teach us, we teach them. I hope I've explained that. Okay.
And so when we sit, do we need to be, are we still present or not present? Like I know when we meditate, sometimes we can be like gone. That's our whole thing, is to clear.
It's to clear the mind, and that's what it is. You know, it's to sit in that quietness, and thoughts will always come in. You know, you just have to let them go. The more you sit, the deeper you can go, and the quieter you can go. So it's allowing the mind to go quiet so that we can at least connect with spirit world. It's quiet in the mind, so we allow them. Spirit world really doesn't talk to you like this because they don't have a voice box.
Correct. Yeah.
It's the feelings they give you, but it does strengthen the mediumship. The more you can sit, like you and I will, Aaron and I, we'll meet up and just sit for spirit. That's all we do, and it allows the mind to go quiet.
Yes.
Just keep going quiet, allowing that lovely spirit world to start working. And also, meditation is so, so important, and not just to be a psychic or medium, that it's also to help you in your everyday life. You know, how many golden opportunities do you miss because you're not actually listening, you know, or feeling that gut feeling, because this is where it all is. So sitting and meditation is so important with this. It's like a golfer. If you want to be a top golfer, you've got to get out and practice. So if you want to be the best medium you can be, you need to sit.
Yes.
That is your work. That's your homework. Just sitting and sitting and sitting. And through that, you start to recognize synchronicities.
Yes.
I don't believe in coincidences.
No.
I believe it's all synchronicity.
Yes.
Look how we met.
Yes.
You know?
And I did, actually, I'm going to turn, hold on. Keep talking, Brenda.
Oh, yeah.
Hold on, I got to turn this off.
I think he's gone to put up the air conditioner.
Yeah.
Yes, you know.
You don't want to hear that.
So
junk.
sitting is really important, and especially I'll tell students, you know, that's your homework, is what we call sit for the spirit world. Go quiet.
Mm-hmm. And I didn't want to do that in the beginning, and she called me out so bad one day.
Yeah.
And after that, it was like, let's just sit. And ever since then, I have to say that it's just stronger. I feel stronger. I feel more connected, and more things are happening in my house than they used to.
Yeah.
Like,
builds the energy.
Yes. And the other day, my son has this Jingle Bell hat that we bought him for Christmas, and we hung it on the back of the door, and I woke up hearing that going off, and I told Brian, get up, someone's in the house. I thought, you know, and I waited to wake him up because I wanted to make sure I wasn't going crazy. But it woke me out of my sleep. Then I told him to go check, and it was still jingling, and then it stopped. Yeah. So by us sitting, I've noticed more energy, more stuff.
We become what it actually does. We become more aware. Mm-hmm. It opens up our awareness. You know. So, I mean, I used to live back in Ireland, right on what we call an estuary, the river. I never noticed that, you know, but now I would notice it. I wouldn't hear the birds even.
Yes.
And I can walk along, and it's like, so it opens up all that awareness of us, you know, that we do become more aware, and it's nice.
Yeah.
It is like, even, I have to say, like, I'm an Aries person, and I'm totally fire. Well, I have to say, I've quietened down a lot now since, you know, so it is so important. And if anybody wants to develop it, you've got to be prepared to sit. I sit every morning, you know, and then Aaron and I'll meet up, and then we'll sit here as well. And it strengthens it. Yes. And then once you've got someone, you know,
it's better.
It's better.
Because sitting alone, I'm like, I don't know I just don't feel it sometimes.
Yeah.
But when me and Brenda sit, it's like we go so deep, and I feel spirit more, and it's just it's addicting in a way, because you're like, I want to sit more with them, you know, like
yeah.
yeah. And there are some people that I guess you don't meld with.
Yeah.
Like if they were to sit with you,
yeah, people's energies are different, so you have to be kind of fussy who you're sitting with.
Yes.
I just wouldn't work with any medium. You know, I have to make sure that if I'm working, say, with Aaron, that we gel together,
yes.
you know, in that kind of way. And also with the sitting or the meditation, if you want to call it that, is that if we don't allow that mind to go quiet, then we can't feel, see, or hear. We're just walking around like in our human life.
Yeah.
You know, and I always separate my human life from my spiritual life. Because if you don't, you go bonkers. Yeah. Okay.
Well, that's our time.
So if anybody has any questions that they would like to put to us that we could answer. The idea of Aaron and I doing this is really for education, you know, so people can understand. I'm so strong on the ethics of this. That's why I love to teach it, you know, so. And if not,
then we can talk about our stuff.
Yeah.
So then, so we'll talk about what we'll be doing. What are we working on now, and what we'll be doing? So I'll let you go with yours first.
Oh.
Tea with the Dead.
Oh, yes. So at the moment, I am working on Tea with the Dead. So Tea with the Dead is because of the English and Irish. I actually set up an English tea theme where people come. It's open to 12 people, and you have English tea and all of that nice stuff, a bit of wine too. Mm-hmm. Patrick's Day, I'm having Irish coffees for that one. And then it's 2 hours of messages. I'm giving everybody what we call a message, you know. It could be a psychic message, or it could be the mediumship. Kind of side. I do readings, I do Skype readings, Facebook readings. I also have a class in Reno on Tuesday nights for anybody interested, where they can come and learn to develop their gift as well.
And that's located at Circle's Edge?
Oh yeah, Terminal Way.
Yes, on Terminal Way.
6:30 to 8:30.
Tomorrow there's a class.
Yeah. Oh yeah, it's bi-weekly at the moment, isn't it? Yeah.
And then she has 2 Tea for the Deads already set. One at the...
Circle's Edge is this Saturday, but that's sold out. Yes. My next one at Circle's Edge is the 9th of March. And I have 2 others, one in the Mackey Mansion. What date's that? The 23rd of... No, 23rd of February. 23rd of February. That's up in Virginia City. That's going to be really cool in that haunted house. Yep. That's going to be so much fun, because I love the fun in this one. And then my other one is down in Minden. That's the 23rd of March. So if anybody wants any details, please contact me at brendamedium@gmail.com. And also my website is brendaridgway.com. And my Facebook page, please like my psychic page. And what's my psychic friend?
Brenda Ridgway, Psychic Medium.
Yeah, I can't even remember.
And that's where we'll be next Monday. We're going to switch up. So Turtle Heart Tarot and then Brenda Ridgway.
Yeah, on my next week, is it?
Yes.
Yep.
So we will be doing it from Brenda's site. And then we'll be back here, and then off and on and off and on, and we'll see what happens.
Mm-hmm. And over to you, Aaron.
I want to say to Yo Witchy, thank you for saying something, and welcome, and thank you for watching too.
Yes, thank you.
Yes. And then for me, turtlehearttarot.com is my website. I do tarot readings. And let's see, over phone and Skype. You can always contact me here at Turtle Heart Tarot on the Facebook page. I also do Reiki Circle on Thursdays at Circle's Edge as well at Terminal Way at 6:30 every Thursday. I'll be there on Thursday. It's really good and really fun to, you know, come in and get some Reiki and healing done on yourself. And that's about it. You'll probably see me at Brenda's class. I'm always there. And so that's about it. Thank you for joining us.
Yes, thank you for joining us, and we'll see you next Monday.
Bye, everybody.
Bye, everybody. Have a great week. Bye.